Alright, so today I'm going to ride Ellie out here in the arena. I haven't been in here for days on end, and I don't know what she's going to be like. It was raining earlier this morning, but it's dried up now. Whoop, I've got some birds going crazy, and we'll see how we go and see how she responds to me when I'm jumping on. Hopefully she'll not carry on like a pork chop, and she's starting already. A bit ridiculous. So I'm going to say, we're not going to do that, we're going to stand. Good girl. Relax. Relax. Good girl. I'm going to adjust my seat and myself. Stand. Drop. Drop. Good girl. We're going to walk on. Just get her to walk around a little bit. We don't need to go fast at all, we just want to walk. It's nice and cool today. Like, it's not hot, it's not cold, but it's not hot. It's a nice day for going and riding. Little bit of wind, but not a lot. Start with a nice slow walk on a loose rein, just giving her the option to listen. I'm a bit nervous about it because I haven't been on her in here for a fair while, so I am feeling a little reluctant about things. However, she's seeming quite relaxed and quite resigned to the fact that I'm asking her to do what I'm asking her to do. Do some tyre work just to get us moving. Good girl. It's again just about reconnecting, getting back into rhythm with one another. And I have been consistent for the last 4 or 5 days on a daily basis, so it is starting to pay off. Last time when I tried to start her off in here, she carried on like a pork chop, so this is much better behaviour. I think she's realising that it's not going to work well for her by being silly. Good girl. Good girl. Now she's wanting to go a little quicker, so I'm going to let her go, increase her pace just slightly. She's also wanting to go right against the fence line, which I don't want her to do. I'm just wanting her to go where I'm asking. So we'll move and shift gears in a minute. We're going to turn and go the other direction in just a second. We haven't done any barrels for quite some time. We're going to leave the barrels a little bit because what we want to do is just get her back to the very basics. Listening, turning, stopping and starting. So I'm going to ask her to walk. She's not listening, she's focusing on other things. Good girl, that was good. Drop down, drop. Good girl. Get her to relax again for a second. She's listening to that cue of walk on, which is nice. I'm going to go a little quicker, so I'm going to ask her to go move a little faster. Just a slightly faster walk. We don't want to trot yet, we're not ready yet. I'm just going to feel our way for a little bit. Worst thing you can do with a young'un is rush them. If you rush them, you'll lose them. You've got to make sure they're listening at the very most basic of foundations before you start going crazy on them. That way you don't have a horse that's ill-tempered and cranky and nasty. You'll get them to work onto things, and see she's increasing her pace nicely now. She's walking nicely. little quicker than she was earlier. And I'm going to slow her back down again. We're going to go slower. I'm going to walk slower. Good girl. It's nice and relaxed. And now we're going to increase our pace a little to a small, slow trot. Just a slow trot, slow trot. Good girl. Nice, easy, slow trot. And we're going to cut in this direction. And I'm going to, I don't know if I want to sit the trot or ride the trot, but we're going to slow down. She has an expectation that I want her to canter along here, because the very last time we were in here, we did cantering. So we're going to slow down, because what I'm wanting her to do is to listen to when I'm asking her to slow and start, and slow and start, and slow and start. So we're going to change our direction. We're going to do a little...
Hi.
Who?
4 stars says hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I can't do anything about the audio, so we don't have an external microphone, so sorry about that.
Well, I am going to upload the GoPro version so they can hear the audio on the GoPro version once it's uploaded. Trot. Whoa, I just felt that weird little back down there. Whoa, slowly, slowly. Hey, half a halt there. Slow down. Trot, slowly. Trot. We're going on a slow trot. Come on, trot. Slowly. There. That's better. Problem is, once she sees this end, she tries to increase it. So we're gonna bring her around here. We're gonna slow down. Circling here. And I'm gonna do a sitting trot with this one, because come on, trot. I'm gonna sit the trot. I just said I was going to sit it and I didn't sit it. So I'm not right with my seat right now. I'm feeling like I'm going to go swoosh over the side. And so basically what I'm doing with her out here is I'm doing a bit of neck reining. So what neck reining is, if you don't know, is where on this side I'm tapping to get her to turn this direction. I'm also putting pressure on the back end at the back of this side with my foot. And this is how she reads my body language. And we go tap again, and we go on that side there. And that way I don't have to worry about having a horse who I have to kick the crap out of to get her to go. She just understands a very easy cue. And we'll test that cue again. We'll ask her to wall. One thing she needs more practice with is woeing. Whenever she woes, we ask her to drop her head so that she's in a position where she's relaxed. And that way I can get her to stand still for a very long time if I need her to. I'm going to ask her again with my forward cue, and straight away she picks that cue up. So that's all I have to do. I don't have to say a word. I can ask her to move forward with words as well. But for the most part, her cue is always going to be a forward motion with the bridle, with the reins. So, getting her back used to the things that she's been learning, and get her to listen to not only the reins but also to my feet if I'm asking her to turn a certain direction. So the thing to do with her is to not push things and rush things. So I'm going to ask her to mostly listen to my cues. So best ways to do that is start slow and then you start to pick your pace up. Trying to give her a loose rein here. I'm giving her a fairly loose rein there. And I'm asking her to stay at a trot with me. Nicely, good girl. She wants to go into a canter, but I'm going to stop that. I don't want her to do that. I'm going to ask her to turn around now. Every time she decides to stop herself, we're going to turn in a different direction and start a new way to go. and we're going to keep her moving faster. We're going to ask for a trot, straight up, we get one. And you can see she's trying to ride away from where I'm asking. So she's doing a little bit of a tactic that she does to try to see if she can get out of. So I'm going to ask her to turn in here. Then I'm going to change up direction. Come on. And she's not going to like it because she's a horse that likes you to do the same things consistently, and if you change suddenly, she has a bit of a problem with that because she likes to just have repeated patterns. Come on. Trot. So every time she's going to slack off and I'm asking her to not do that, or she starts trying to get away from me like right now, tried to get away from me then, instead of stopping her, I'm going to get her in a half circle and ask her to go again until she settles. So whenever she's at that point and she's carrying on, that's where I will make her work harder. We don't want to canter, we just want to trot. And she's trying to figure out what it is I'm asking, and I'm asking her to just trot, but she's paying attention over there. There's something over there that's bothering her. Not sure what it is. That's okay, we can slow down for a minute. Oh, it's a horse float. It's a trailer. It's just a trailer, Bubby. You see them all the time.
Riding the ponies asks, can she canter?
Yes, she can canter.
Yes,
Yep. I'm not letting her canter right now because that's what she wants to do. She's trying to canter. I'm asking her to listen to me and trot. So until she listens in the trot, I'm not going to let her go any faster with me if she's not listening while I'm at a slower pace. It's just how you train them. If you let them walk over you, they'll keep doing it and you'll be in trouble every time you're on them. Good girl. Good girl. Yep. I'm going to disengage her hind end. Just get her to listen with that. That's a good little thing to do. It allows them to think a little more about what you're asking and will. Good girl. Now there's something we haven't done for a few days, and that is a backup. I'm going to see if she remembers that cue. So I'm going to put a little bit of gentle pressure. Now what she does tend to do, as soon as she takes that off, I release. As soon as she takes that foot back, I'll release. Good. And drop. And drop. And then she's nice and relaxed again. I'll ask her to go back again. And this time, she's immediately responding to my cue. And when you are asking them to go back, as soon as they start to move that foot back, you release. You don't keep going unless you want them to back up really quickly or many times. You release as soon as you're done with it. And that just gives her and indicates to her, okay, that's exactly what I'm asking you to do. Now she just came forward without me asking her to go forward, so we're going to back her again. And this time I'm going to ask for more than a couple of steps. I'm going to ask for several steps back, back, good, back, good, back, one more, back, back, good, and stand, and drop, and drop, good girl. So I'm going to ask her to wake up and walk. A little bit of a slow response there, but it's still a response that was good. So I'm happy with that. And she seems a lot more listening, a lot better than what she was the last time I was riding in this particular place. Last time she was really terrible. She didn't want to listen at all. She gets to certain points in time, so if you've ridden for about 10-15 minutes, she'll suddenly start being a little bit of a bugger. And I'm not asking for a canter, I'm asking for a slow, 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 slow. You're not going slow, slow. Slow it down, slow it down. There we go. Slow it down. Whoa, I just went a little funny then. Now you can do a canter. Canter. Nice slow canter. Okay, just a little one. And that'll just get that out of her system for a minute. She's had a bit of a canter, she's enjoyed that. That lets her get a little bit of her angst out. When I've asked her to do it, she's done it, so that's good. We're going to go around the other way, and I'm going to get her to canter that direction. Or slowly. And slowly. And she knows what I'm going to ask. And she's listened beautifully then. So she went straight into the canter when I asked for it, and she stopped the canter when I asked for it, which is really what I wanted. So that's really good. I'm going to do some tyres again. And let's see how well she's listening on the tyre. Really nicely, that's good. Lovely turning. Good job. You can see I've got a nice loose rein with her. And this is really excellent for a young horse. A lot of horses take quite a few years to get to the point where she's at already. Some of them can take a long time to be mature enough to understand what it is you're asking for. This girl's very mature in that way. She's a very fast and a quick learner, very smart girl. And once you teach her something, she knows how to do it. She's just, the issue she has is she's defiant about things. And sometimes that causes you to have a complete setback. And walk. You ask her to walk and stand. Good girl. I'm going to take her for a little walk out there. We haven't been out there for a while. You'd be surprised when they're young horses, when you change into a different part of the environment, it can be right next to you, but if they've not been doing it, they can be a little bit jittery and funny. And it can be very nerve-wracking if you're not used to that kind of behaviour. Young horses can be very scary. So you never know what's going to happen. They can very quickly go from being really, really nice and quiet to being really, really frightened. All it takes is something to jump out from behind the creek or a bird to fly out of the bush. And she's checking the creek out. Now she's in here all day long, grazing. But she's checking it out and she says, don't know what's going on over there. Good girl. I'm remaining as calm as I possibly can. I'm a little nervous, but I'm not as nervous as I thought I'd be. So she's listening lovely. And like when you're not used to being out in a big open space, it can be a bit scary with a young horse because they have a tendency to be quite forward. She's a forward moving horse. She wants to go forwards when she's out and about. She doesn't when you're in the normal space, but when you're out and about somewhere different, she's very, very happy to go faster and manoeuvre. There's a hawk. Is that a hawk or is that a black cockatoo? I think that's two black cockatoos. It is. Two black cockatoos. Or is it crow? No, that's a black cockatoo. Okay. So she's wanting to move faster, and I'm just going to bump the reins a little and say, just slow down. I'm going to put my seat back a little. Get her to slow down a little bit. I want her to stay on a nice loose rein so that she's not, I'm not pulling on her mouth. You can see very clearly she's not being pulled on. There we go. She's listening beautifully. Walk on. Good girl. And this time I'm going to change my direction and go around in the other direction to where I was a minute ago. Good girl. Very good job. Good job. Good girl. And we're going to go a little bit further out towards some of the spots that she's not used to, where things could be different, where she's maybe going, well, hang on, we don't usually ride here. Good girl. And relax. So see how her head's a little higher there? We just wanted to bring that in. And she's listening lovely with her ears. She's bringing them back to hear me. And I'm saying, well, relax. And she says, I'm trying. Give her a good pat. Just relax her with the neck. Good girl. Touch her on the butt. Let her realise there's different things that can suddenly touch you while you're being ridden. It's okay. That's a very important thing with a young horse, because when people get on and they're not used to riding and they don't understand what horses can do, if they suddenly go like this and your horse isn't used to someone touching them on the backside while you're on them, that can be a disaster. Very much so. We'll bring her back in here. We'll get her to stand and walk. Lovely job. Good girl. And that's pretty good. Now I'm going to leave her with this right here. I'm going to hop off her here. I change where I hop off every single time, and that is so she never knows where it's going to finish. She can't predict where it's going to finish, so she doesn't try and finish continuously, because I'm always at the same spot. That way I can be anywhere and I'll get off and she's not going to be worrying about it. What I want her to do though when I'm getting off is I want her to have her head nice and relaxed, like that. And until she's relaxed, I won't take my foot out. I'll wait for her to relax. Just relax. Good girl. And then I'll jump down. Good girl. And she still has that nervy look because she's like, let me go, let me go. And there we go. And you can see her movements. She's virtually saying, hurry up, take this off me. I'm done. I did a good job. And you did do a good job. You did a fantastic job. And that's very good work. And she'll stand for me nicely. Don't need to put a rope on her. She'll stand. She knows and understands the procedures. And she'll wait for me to take all this off. Very patient. You're a young one, aren't you? Being very patient today. Good girl. And the saddle's going to come off, and then she's done. And that she hasn't even worked up a sweat at all or anything like that. I'm going to take this one off her, and she's ready for the day, ready for the rest of the day. And that's pretty much it there. So thank you